Welcome back, Star Wars fans, to the channel that analyzes just about everything in Star Wars we can think of. Lately, we've been diving deep into the Andor series and the Ahsoka series. Today, we will continue that trend with the Ahsoka series. The characters of Baylan SKOLL and Shin HATI, to be exact. Not only about their appearance in the Ahsoka series, but also the Norse legend they are derived from. We'll look at the similarities in the two and how they leave clues as to whom they really are in the story of Ahsoka. Yes, I said whom, because I know how to use the word. If English had a dative case, it would be whom. But here's a trick. If you would say him, you'd say whom. Anyways, enough of the grammar lesson. We're here to talk about Star Wars, damn it. But here's a quick word first. Up. That's your quick word. I'm teasing. Relax, it's freaking Star Wars, baby. If you're new here or haven't decided to commit yet, go on and do it now. Hit the subscribe button like a Roman citizen crossing your path and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss a single Star Wars deep dive. Now, let's get on with the show, okay? Few side characters in the Star Wars galaxy capture the imagination quite like Baylan SKOLL and Shin HATI. Their stoic, enigmatic presences in Ahsoka are defined not just by their abilities as powerful dark force users, but also by their deeper mythological significance. These names are not chosen lightly. They're direct references to SKOLL and HATI, the legendary wolves from Norse mythology that chase the sun and the moon, signifying the coming of the apocalypse, or as it's known in those stories, Ragnarok. In this video, we're going to explore the layered connections between these two fascinating Star Wars characters and the wolves of myth that inspired them, from their motivations, their roles within the Ahsoka narrative, to their symbolic weight of their names in Norse lore. We'll talk a detailed, in-depth journey through the mysteries surrounding Baylan and Shin, uncovering the parallels and deeper meaning behind their fateful journeys. In Norse mythology, SKOLL and HATI are twin wolves that pursue the sun and the moon, representing a cosmic chase that is bound by fate itself. SKOLL, whose name means mockery, chases the sun, while HATI, meaning one who hates, pursues the moon. This pursuit is a critical part of the natural order in Norse cosmology. The wolves' chase is relentless, cyclical, and seemingly never-ending. However, prophecy foretells that a Ragnarok, the end of days, SKOLL and HATI will finally catch their prey, devouring the celestial bodies and plunging the world into darkness and chaos. Ragnarok, like many apocalyptic tales, isn't just about destruction, but also renewal. It represents the destruction of the old world and the birth of a new one. It's a mythological cycle of death and rebirth, which plays perfectly into Baylan and Shin's roles in Ahsoka. These two characters are not mere tools of the Empire or the dark side, but rather agents of a larger cosmic change, much like their Norse counterparts. The concept of the end of an era or a world through the actions of SKOLL and HATI can be directly compared to Baylan SKOLL's motivations in Ahsoka. Baylan, much like his mythological namesake, is hunting something bigger than himself. He's chasing not just knowledge or power, but a fundamental shift in the galaxy's balance. SKOLL chases the sun, symbolizing light, life, and knowledge. And Baylan's pursuit seems to be in alignment with a similar quest for enlightenment or truth, even if it brings destruction along the way. Baylan SKOLL's portrayal in Ahsoka suggests that he is a man deeply burdened by his own sense of purpose. Unlike many Dark Force users, Baylan is not consumed by hatred or a desire for raw power. Instead, his motivations are more existential, almost philosophical. He believes that the galaxy is trapped in a cycle of destruction, with the Jedi and Sith playing endless roles in this cosmic dance. His goal is to break free from this cycle, much like SKOLL's relentless pursuit of the sun symbolizes a break from the eternal chase. Throughout the series, we see that Baylan is not a typical villain. He doesn't revel in cruelty or domination for its own sake. His calm, methodical demeanor is that of a man who has been looking and learning too much to be swayed by petty ambitions. He speaks of something greater beyond the Jedi and Sith, hinting at a deeper understanding of the Force, perhaps even a disillusionment with both the light and dark sides. In this way, Baylan reflects Skoll's role in Norse mythology. Skoll chases the sun, and while the chase may bring about destruction, it also signals a necessary transformation. Baylan's actions suggest that he seeks to bring about a similar shift in the galaxy's destiny. One of the most striking moments in Ahsoka is when Baylan hints at his weariness with the cyclical nature of galactic conflict. His choice of words and his overall demeanor suggests that he views himself as a necessary force of change, rather than as a conqueror or destroyer. This perspective aligns with Skoll's role in myth, where the wolf's chase of the sun ultimately leads to the collapse of the old world and the rise of something new. For Baylan, the destruction of the old order is not a tragedy, but a necessary step towards something better. We can also draw parallels between Skoll's cosmic pursuit and Baylan's hunt for Thrawn in the series. While Thrawn represents the restoration of Imperial power, Baylan seems far less interested in the military implication of Thrawn's return. Instead, he appears to view Thrawn's reemergence as a mere stepping stone, a necessary part of his greater journey toward understanding the deeper truths of the galaxy. Much like Skoll chasing the sun across the sky, Baylan is hunting for a new dawn, a new beginning that will bring an end to the cyclical nature of galactic warfare. Shin HATI, who seems to never blink in the series, in contrast to Baylan, represents the unbridled instinctual nature of the hunt. Where Baylan is methodical and introspective, Shin is raw, aggressive, and driven by a hunger for power and validation. Like her mythological counterpart, Hati, she is relentless in her pursuit, but her chase is less about destiny and more about dominance. In Norse mythology, Hati, whose name means one who hates, is a symbol of primal fury, forever chasing the moon in a futile attempt to catch it. Shin's characterization in Ahsoka mirrors this mythological narrative. Shin is the embodiment of youthful ambition and unchecked aggression. She seeks power, but it's clear that she is also searching for her place in the galaxy. Her loyalty to Baylan is built not on philosophical alignment, but on necessity. Baylan offers her the guidance and structure that she lacks. Yet, there is a sense that Shin's relentless drive for strength will ultimately lead her to break away from her master, much like how Hati's eternal chase of the moon is an exercise in futility, always reaching but never grasping. What's interesting about Shin's character is how she embodies the chaotic, destructive side of power. She is not interested in reshaping the galaxy or pursuing a higher truth, as Baylan is. Instead, Shin's motivations are far more primal. In her battles with Ahsoka and Sabine, we see a warrior who is driven by sheer force of will. Her methods are brutal, and her combat style reflects her inner turmoil, a constant struggle to prove herself in a galaxy that doesn't seem to offer her a clear path. Much like Hati in Norse myth, Shin is always on the hunt, but her chase is not for something as abstract as destiny. It's for immediate power. Hati's pursuit of the moon is symbolic of an unending cycle, a chase that can never be completed. Similarly, Shin's thirst for power seems insatiable. Whether she's facing Ahsoka or carrying out Baylan's orders, Shin is relentless, always pushing forward without pausing to reflect on the consequences of her actions. This mirrors Hati's role in Norse mythology, where the wolf's chase of the moon is not just about destruction, but about an inherent, uncontrollable instinct to keep pursuing. As the series progresses, it becomes clear that Shin's relationship with Baylan is bound to reach a breaking point. While Baylan's pursuit of destiny is philosophical and long-term, Shin's goals are more immediate and personal. She seeks power in the here and now, and her growing ambition suggests that she may one day outgrow her master. This potential schism between Baylan and Shin mirrors the cosmic tension between Skoll and Hati, where their individual pursuits, one chasing the sun, the other the moon, are ultimately bound to diverge, even if they are both part of the same apocalyptic cycle. The dynamic between Baylan SKOLL and Shin HATI is one of the most compelling aspects of Ahsoka. Their bond is complex, but built on both necessity and respect, but it's also fragile. Baylan's calm, calculated approach contrasts sharply with Shin's impulsive, aggressive nature, yet they are united by a common purpose, much like SKOLL and HATI in Norse mythology, who are bound by fate to chase the sun and moon, even though their ultimate goals are different. Baylan's mentorship of Shin is one of control and guidance. He tempers her aggression, providing her with the wisdom and structure she lacks. However, there is a sense that Baylan views Shin as a tool, a means to an end, and in his greater cosmic pursuit. He sees potential in her, but also recognizes the danger of her unchecked ambition. This is where their relationship takes on a tragic undertone. Much like SKOLL and HATI's eternal chase in Norse myth, both wolves are bound to their roles, but there's an inevitability that one day their paths will diverge, possibly with devastating consequences. In Ahsoka, this tension between Baylan and Shin manifests through subtle exchanges and glances, moments where Baylan's words carry a weight of finality, as if he knows that their paths may one day separate. He speaks to her as a mentor, but also as someone who is preparing her for a future without him. This dynamic draws a direct parallel to SKOLL and HATI in Norse myth. The wolves chase the sun and moon, but they are ultimately fated to be apart when they finally catch their prey, signaling the end of the world. And as we see in the Ahsoka series, they do part ways after a while. Baylan's long-term goals may not align with Shin's more immediate desires, and this sets the stage for an inevitable conflict. Much like the cosmic tension between SKOLL and HATI, their bond is one of mutual need, but also of growing divergence. Baylan's calm wisdom contrasts sharply with Shin's fiery ambition, and while they are currently united in their quest, not really, it's clear that their motivations will eventually lead them down separate paths, and we see that happen. The wolves of Norse mythology are not just creatures of destruction, they're symbols of the end of one era and the beginning of another, like I mentioned before. SKOLL and HATI's chase across the sky represents the relentless passage of time, and their eventual victory during Ragnarok signifies the end of the world as it was known, clearing the way for a new reality to emerge. This theme of cyclical destruction and rebirth is central to the mythology, and it also plays a key role in Baylan and Shin's story within Ahsoka. Baylan, like SKOLL, is chasing something far beyond his immediate reach. He's not interested in the power that Thrawn offers or the control that the other dark side users crave. Instead, Baylan seeks to break the cycle of conflict that has plagued the galaxy for centuries. His ultimate goal, much like SKOLL's pursuit of the sun, is to bring about an end to the current order, allowing something new to take its place. Baylan's weariness with the repetitive nature of galactic warfare suggests that he sees himself as a necessary agent of change, a force that will bring about a new dawn, even if it comes through destruction. Shin, on the other hand, is more closely aligned with HATI's role in the myth. Her pursuit is less abstract and more immediate. She chases power, much like HATI chases the moon, like I've said before, with a singular focus. Yet this pursuit is also cyclical, and there's a sense that Shin, like HATI, is trapped in a chase that can never truly be completed. Her desire for strength and dominance mirrors HATI's futile pursuit of the moon, a chase that is destined to go on forever unless some external force intervenes. But that's all I have on that today for the topic of Baylan SKOLL and Shin HATI as they relate to their Norse legends. Let me know down in the comments what you think about it, if this is accurate or if you think it's BS. Me, I think it's pretty accurate. And it looks like Star Wars is taking a cue from real world stuff, or at least the mythological part, however you want to say it. Anyways, before I go, here's another quick word from our sponsor, me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, like the video, share the video. I don't care if you share it with a hamster, a pig, a gerbil, or a cat, whatever, just share it. Show it to people. Let's see how it turns out. I'd like to hit 50,000 subscribers. Man, I twisted those words. 50,000 subscribers by this time next year. So let's see what we can do to make that happen. Okay? Until the next time, this is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Thank you all for watching, and remember, may the Force be with you always.